Hi, and welcome to LB0 Fox India Norwegian Hemp Ventures. I'm Morten, LB0 Fox India. And as you can see, I'm in my car. And that's not because I'm doing a PODA. I'm actually parked at home. And I've been really wanting to replace the radio I've had in my car because I've been using this little Retevis RA25 in the car. It's a compact, nice unit, and it's a perfect radio for a Nissan Leaf because it fits on what is essentially the only flat surface in the car. That is just in front of the cup holders on the center console here. But that radio has 2 meters and 70 centimeters and is basically a ham radio. And in the shack, I've been using an ICOM ICF1610. I made a video on that. There's a link to that down below up here. You know the drill. And that radio is not a ham radio. It's a commercial radio. It's channelized, and it's VHF only or 2 meters only. But it has a great receiver. It is built like a tank, and it is relatively easy to use because it lacks so much functionality. So I figured it'd be better to have the Retevis inside the shack and the ICOM in the car. The ICOM radio, however, is a lot bigger, as you'll soon see, and it does not fit in the center console. It also doesn't have an internal speaker, and then there are no flat surfaces in my car. But I managed to install it nonetheless, and even better, I managed to install it with just one piece of simple gear. Some Tesa PowerBond double-sided tape. And yesterday, I tried doing this with 3M Duo Lock, I think it's called. Industrial Velcro, which has always been a winner for me. But that wouldn't stick to the center console in the car. There's something about the center console and the material used in the Nissan Leaf. This is my second Nissan Leaf, and I had troubles with my previous one as well. And there's something about the material that they've used that glue doesn't stick well to. So I tried a combination of regular Tesa double-sided tape and that Duolock Velcro tape. That didn't stick too well. It stuck for a couple of hours and then it slipped. So today I went to the hardware store or the antenna store or whatever you want to call it, and I bought a small 1.5 meter roll of the Tesa PowerBond double-sided tape. And this is so much better. It claims to stick to anything, and it does. So what I've done with the install is I've just taped the radio to the side of the center console. So let's change the camera around and show you my install, and you'll just have to excuse how dirty my car is, but that's just the way it is. First of all, from the driver's position, this is how the radio is placed on the side of the center console. And I just use a cup holder for the mic holder here. And down here in front of the cup holders is where I've placed the speaker. And this is where I used to keep the Retevis radio, but it was usually in the way of the cup holders and everything, but it works halfway decent. And you can see the cigarette lighter outlet there. Yes, I do power my radio from the cigarette outlet. It's low power. I've had no issues with it. And then the radio is just right here. It's pretty simple. There's only one button for me to concern with, and that's this button, which I programmed to scan. And then it's the volume knob here. Those are the only two buttons I really need to use, in addition to the up and down buttons here. So this works pretty well. Let's take a look at the other side and see. And of course I should have turned the volume down. So let's take a look at the other side and see how it is. So if we take a look from the passenger side here, the radio is somewhat flush to the panel of the center console here. And if we look from the top here, I'm just going to remove the mic cable. We can see the Tesa PowerBond tape there. And the radio doesn't move at all. So this is actually really, really good. And there's a little bit of mess with wires down there. I got to shorten some of the wires there so I can just make the install cleaner. But for all practical intents and purposes, I'm really happy with this install. I prefer to have my installs relatively temporarily, permanently, somewhere in between. Because, let's face it, I'm not going to keep this radio forever. And at some point, I'm probably going to sell this car. So that's why I've done it this way. And this proves that you don't need to overthink a mobile install. Do it as simple as possible. Do it in a way that fits you and, perhaps more important, your significant other. It's probably more important what your significant other says than what you think. I'm lucky in that way because my wife lets me do pretty much whatever I want in radio. You might not be that lucky, but, well, try it the simple way, see if it works, and if your significant other doesn't like it, you can always remove the radio. It's just double-sided tape. That's it for now. A little bit of a short video this week. There will be a couple of more long ones coming ahead, and as I discussed in my last video, I'm going to reduce the amount of videos to approximately one per week if there's nothing big happening. Still got to do the final long-term review of the 705, and I got a couple of more videos I want to do with the 705 before I send it back in about a week and a half. See you down the bands. See you in my next video. 7-3, and have a nice day.